Alright, guys, as promised, I'm reacting or responding to the Superman teaser trailer. Now, I want to say this up front. I'm not going to have any sound on during the watching of this trailer, okay? It's going to be on silent. I'll intermittently interject and give my thoughts on things, and I'll explain what's going on in the video, in the teaser itself, so that I can just kind of give you guys a rundown of what's going on and what my thoughts are on each of these subjects. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? We open up on this little icy area here. I like the way this looks. We get this moment where Superman crash lands into the snow. This is a very interesting first scene here. If you take a look, obviously, he's doing the Yamcha pose right now, but he's also just, beaten up. He's bloody. He's been battered down and bruised. Very interesting first shot. I will say this. I don't know if I would have had the balls to make the first shot of my Superman trailer a shot of Superman in the fetal position, beaten up and bloody. Especially not since we've just had a deconstruction of the character in the form of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel series in the DCEU, with having him be this kind of gritty, upset, angsty kind of character. Whereas this, I do get a vibe of more hope-filled adventures that are coming our way throughout the rest of this trailer. And I know some stuff about the tone that James Gunn is trying to set, so I have kind of a mixed bag of emotions on this trailer. But let's go ahead and get back into it. So you can see he's shaking there. He wheezes in this, all right? So he's wheezing right now. We get some flashbacks. I will say, quite possibly, the best Clark Kent disguise I've seen. It's far more than just putting on glasses. I mean, you've got Christopher Reeve, who's absolutely goated because he would hunch over, he would change his voice, he would act like a klutz. Like, just the mannerisms in and of themselves, and he could instantly go between the two, was absolute perfection. I mean, the scene where he picks up Lois for the date, and he's talking, and he's like, "Well, Lois, I just want to say I'm really excited for tonight." And then he takes his glasses off, he stands up straight, and he goes, "Lois, there's something I want to tell you." And it's like this complete change of character. Absolutely amazing. Then she comes back out there and he puts the glasses back on. He's like, "Well, I just wanted to tell you, I'm gonna take you out on the time of your night, the time of your life tonight." Right? And he's kind of got this weird, like, geeky, quirky thing. It remains to be seen how different David Cornsweet will play the characters between Clark Kent and Superman. But in terms of the appearance, it's already a good indication. We got more shots of him in the snow. He spits out some blood. I've heard a lot of theories on this part right here. It could be that he just got to fight against Ultraman, or a series of other things that occurs. You've got the Daily Planet here, which has David Cornsweet taking his seat, and you've got Rachel Brosnahan, who's playing Lois Lane here, who's just kind of walking past him, and he's kind of acting a little shy, geeky, quirky, kind of moving away from her. She looks back at him, he looks back at her, at least that's what we think is going on there. I do like the fact that we've got this kind of nighttime starry background, and we got that classic silver and blue title card lettering going on here from, like, the 1970s Superman films. And the fact that it's playing in the background the John Williams Superman theme on guitar. I like that. We've got this interesting look at the farm. Looks like Pa Kent is crying in this scene. Clark is comforting him. There's a lot of stuff in this in the latter half of the trailer that I feel could have been better interspersed throughout the rest, or just release that other half. But I also like the build-up, right? It gets you away from, like, the 30 seconds of, "Oh, well, it's not, I haven't gotten my fix in 10 seconds, so now I have to just go and scroll to the next video." I like the fact that it actually takes its time to get to the stuff that people are actually going to want to see, which is the acting of Superman being heroic, saving lives, protecting people, being the Man of Steel, the Man of Tomorrow. So in this scene, he's whistling. That little cloud of dust right there is Krypto. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, Krypto's the worst part of this, or I'm sick and tired of all this, or it's too goofy. I don't care. I do not care. Krypto looks just like my little dog that I used to have. His name was Max, and I completely understand what James Gunn was saying now. When he released that information about him rewriting parts of the script so that he could include Krypto. Like, when I see this dog, I see my dog Max. Very happy-go-lucky. I like this moment here. Oh, this is an amazing shot. Superman comes in. He saves the little girl. And you notice when he saves her, I absolutely adore this fact right here. He saves her. He comes around her. He grabs her so he holds her tight so that nothing will hit her. And then he actually ducks her head down towards his center of mass, which is his abdominal region, so that any potential debris that could whiz past the smaller portion of his head doesn't hit her. I love that detail. Now, of course, you've got the legs, but he's minimizing the amount of damage possible to her. Now, how damaged she would be in terms of the laws of physics if he was moving at the speed of the bullet and managed to crank her neck that fast, probably a different story. She might be dead, but this is a comic book movie. So this is still an amazing moment here that's showing Superman is attentive to these little details about protecting people. I love that. You've got Lex Luthor here, played by Nicholas Hoult. Superman flies past. You've got him with a revolver and a ring. That shot right there, I've heard a lot of people saying is annoying when he's breaking out of the cage. I like that shot. I like that he's in this little moment right here. He's winding up for a punch, and he just blasts through the glass like nothing. This moment right here with the kid raising the flag, I think is interesting. It might be a holdover from the original script, right, where it was supposed to be this conflict over in the Middle East, which was scrapped when the Gaza October 7th or 27th or whatever it was happened. And we had this massive spike of war and conflict over in the Middle East that they decided to kind of stay away from a little bit more. But he's holding up a flag, and it's interesting. It's almost as if the little boy later on is praying to Superman. I'm not going to say he's actually praying, but he is calling out for Superman to help him. And you get little notes of that here where he actually says Superman right here. So we've got these moments of these people who seem to be really angry with Superman. And I'm not sure why, right? But I understand what it is James Gunn is going for. He cited a Jimmy Stewart movie, which I forget the name of it, but it's about this gentleman who goes to the political zeitgeist, right? He gets into politics, and he goes to Washington, and he's there trying to genuinely make a positive difference. He's a good man in a world, in a realm full of corrupt politicians. James Gunn has said that this is his idea of Superman, that he's the embodiment of kindness in a world where kindness is old-fashioned. And he stands for truth, justice, and the American way, which is something I think Peter Safran said. Which, again, all this is sounding great. It really is. I love the way that it sounds. I love the portrayal. I love the idea of it. I really hope that it really does deliver. And I can see him being panned as this evil person, but he's still just trying to do the right thing. Because that's something that could happen. That's something that happens all the time in superhero stories where they get blamed for doing something evil and they're actually the hero. I like this moment right here where it does seem that there might be some conflict between Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner and David Cornsweet's Superman. But it does almost appear as though Guy Gardner here is attempting to back up Superman. He creates this veil so that people can't see through, and he's going to talk to him. Now, maybe he's going in like a aggressive manner, but who knows? I don't know. To me, this seems like it actually is kind of like a nice moment of, hey, we have our differences, but I'm not going to let them see you at your lowest. I like that. You got moments of Isabella Merced. We've got a kaiju fighting Superman. We've got moments of Superman and Lois just here. It looks like the Fortress of Solitude. There's so much in this trailer. If I were to break it down in total, I think I'd spend like 27 minutes talking about it. And I want to make a very, very important moment of I want to make something very, very blatant right now. There's only a few scenes of action, like actual fighting in this trailer, which I think harkens back to a simpler time with Christopher Reeve, Superman, where he's a super person who's rescuing people, saving cats out of trees, doing the right thing, and he gets hated on by someone who is jealous of his accomplishment, jealous of his ability to be good with all the power that he has, right? Lex Luthor, obviously. We've got Mr. Terrific here. We've had Guy Gardner. We've had Hawk Girl. We had Metamorpho for a brief second there. And we've got a lot of stuff going on in this scene, in this trailer, and I absolutely love it. And it doesn't leave. It leaves a lot to the imagination, and it doesn't give away everything, which is what a trailer's supposed to do. It's supposed to get you interested and then tell you, show up. I also love the fact that there's a little bit of dialogue. It's not telling you lines that are only for the trailer. You got tons of just amazingly fast moments. I love the way this looks. This moment right here. Yeah. My general takeaway is I'm cautiously optimistic. I have had a kind of a negative view of James Gunn's take on Superman thus far. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I've been hopeful about James Gunn's take on Superman. I don't like the costume, but ultimately, the costume is not as important as the story. The costume does not matter nearly as much as just making a good superhero story. We can see this with the success of the X-Men movies from 1999 and 2001 or 2002, right? Those movies spawned off an entire series of franchises where they didn't wear the traditional costumes. You have the Logan movie that doesn't have him in the costume at all, and he's just in like a suit or an undershirt or something, and he's just this old guy with claws sticking out of his hands, and he's trying to stab people. Now, ultimately, it's so much better to get movies where you get the characters in the comic book accurate costumes that look like they're coming off of the page. Absolutely. But I'm not going to get on anyone's case for, for sitting there and saying, oh, it's not the right costume. I'm not going to get on anyone's case for not liking the costume. I'm not going to get on anyone's case for liking the costume. The biggest and most important thing is that this movie is good. And I've seen things from behind the scenes. I've seen the general synopsis. I've seen the idea of what James Gunn is going for. And I genuinely like it. I am very interested in seeing this movie. It's coming out July 11th, 2025. And I really want to see it. I have my reservations, but I'm also very cautiously optimistic. This, to me, feels like a Superman trailer. From the start, where he's in the fetal position and he's beaten down and battered, feels to me like James Gunn is hearkening to us. Hey, Superman has been dragged through the mud. We haven't gotten to get a good Superman story for a long time. And it's time for him to rise out of this area where he's just been battered down, deconstructed, broken up, and completely destroyed, and rebuild. Let's bring him back to his former glory. That's what I feel the opening shot and the final shots of this trailer are supposed to hearken to us. Where it's just like, guys, have some patience. This movie has a lot of good promise coming for it. It's obviously got a lot riding on its shoulders as well, with Superman being the father of superheroes. It's pretty much going to tell us if the superhero franchise or if the superhero film market could even survive going forward. And it might just be what restarts Hollywood. I'm looking forward to this. I really am. I really, really hope that this is a good movie. The trailer has me hyped. I'm excited. Like I said, I've had reservations, but everything I've seen so far looks amazing. And I am so hopeful for it. Not to get cheesy with the Superman relation, but I am very hopeful for the Man of Steel, Superman. Truth, Justice, and the American Way to come right flying back onto our screens in 2025. I am so hopeful that it's good. Will it be? Only time will tell. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of the week.